Alright, so first thing we're going to do is use these to take off the bottom clamp so we can just pull it up and over out of the way. Now, this one's probably not necessary, but I got this from Harbor Freight, and basically it's just a spring-loaded one. But since this has been on here a while, I'm just going to grab it and kind of try to twist it a little bit, just to break it loose, just like that. That way it'll hopefully slide right off. Now that tool is optional, so you could do it with just the regular ones like this, but I thought it was cool at Harbor Freight, so I got it. Now, I am not a professional at this. This is going to be my second one to ever do in my life. First GT500, the other one was my son's 2006 Mustang, so it was quite a bit different than this, but what I want to do is try to remove this radiator hose, pull it up over and out of the way. I could probably do all this without it, but I might end up having to, whatever hose this is here, it's an aluminum or metal hose. May have to take that one out also. Alright, just so you guys can see what I've done so far, move this. We've removed this hose, and then maybe this, I'm not sure what this one goes to. It's held on by this little pulley bracket. Alright, so that was quite a booger because the belt wasn't holding it tight enough, so I had to get a 10mm wrench on the opposite bolt. They weren't on there very tight, but the belt couldn't hold it enough for me to get them off. Alright, it's ready to see right back in there. Let's see. But that pulley right there that the light's on, let me see if I can. Tensioner. Yeah. Right here. That's a tensioner, and it's a 15mm. So I took a breaker bar and pushed it to the right to loosen it, and I was able to slip the belt off. Now Now, alright, now I'm able to get these bolts off and the pulley off. Okay, now there's 4 bolts. It's really hard to see, so I'm sorry. Okay, so right there on the bottom, oh, there it is. The bottom right, there's 1, and then at the left side here, there's 2. And again, these are, what did I say, 13 millimeters. And then behind the pulley, let me zoom out a little. Behind the pulley, right back in there, like you got the water pump pulley that I have taken off right there, just kind of right behind it, between that built-in little space, there's another bolt, and then of course underneath, like in between those two, the outlet and the pulley, underneath there, there's another one. So I'm not too worried about that one. It's the one behind this pulley. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to take that pulley off right there, because it's like right behind it. I'm going to try to see if I can get a swivel and get it off, but I don't know. I'll let you know in a minute. It is extremely hard to see back in there, but there's a bolt back there, and that pulley right there, you are able, I was able to use one of the short sockets, or I guess it'd be regular size, and then I think it was like a 4-inch extension or 5-inch extension, and I was able to get it fished out from behind that pulley right there. And also underneath the water pump, as I said before, the outlet right there in the pulley, it's like right underneath. And let's see, you can see my socket on it right in there, kind of glistening. You're able to sneak it up in there with and then use a breaker bar to break it loose. Sorry for all the bad angles, but again, this is not a how-to. This is just me working on my car trying to figure stuff out. It's pretty hard to see, but I'll use this. I'll fast forward through all this at a faster speed. Just make sure that when you're removing the pump, you're going to want to hit it with a pry bar or something, but don't do that. You're just going to grab it on 2 sides and twist and pull. Nice shiny new one. Now it says to lube the O-ring. I'm not sure with what, so I may spray some silicone on there. I've got some of the silicone lubricant. Spray around on the side right here. First I'm going to clean up around the outside. Now let's see if I can get this back in. It's hard to see, but I had a hard time with this. You see to the right of the bolt, you've got, I don't know exactly how, not a quarter of inch, but probably about, millimeters gap on the right side over here. You see how it goes all the way around? So this one's slightly smaller in that note, and the casting was off on it. So if I had, for instance, this bolt in, and then I went down to that bolt wouldn't fit in too well. It felt like you were cross-threading it. And then say you twisted a certain one, you got these two bolts in, well, then that bolt that's down over there wouldn't go in. So if you get this GT500 pump off American Muscle, which is about $100, how I got it on easily without cross-threading anything is I had to pull it almost all the way out, take it out about a ½ inch to an inch, start all 4 bolts, and then slowly work it in. So move it in about a ¼ inch, tighten up. Move it in a ¼ inch, tighten it up. And now it's completely on, everything is torqued, nothing's cross-threaded. The only thing is, you got that gap all the way around it. May not be a big deal or not. So now I just gotta get my belt back on and torque down the pulley and connect all my hoses down there. And it's pretty greasy. I've got a oil leak somewhere. I think it's at my oil filter, because every oil change, in between oil changes, which I do about every 5,000 to 6,000 miles, I usually have to add about a ½ quart. So it's not horrible, but I do drive it easy. If I drove it hard, always in boost, it could be worse. I don't know. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So I want to get my belt ran, and we'll go from there. Okay, so got my belt back on, and that wasn't that bad. I think it might be slightly misaligned. I'll have to check it after I run it for a little bit. I don't know if it'll kind of work its way back into place on the smooth side. I know if it's misaligned on the ribbed side, you gotta fix that, but it's the smooth side here. I think it's just a few millimeters off, but we'll see how that goes. Now I gotta get this clamp back on the hose, and then get the hose on over here, and hose back on the reservoir, fill up the reservoir, and go from there. This one's kind of looking pretty bad. It's got some chips here. It's old, it's original to the car, so I'll need to get a new one of those. It's winter time now, so I probably am not going to worry about it right now, but come springtime, I'll work on getting a new one, and I would like to do a coolant flush. So that's the plan right now. Okay, so obviously I've got everything back on. I've got the reservoir bolted back up. I've got it full. I believe I've got it. I used one of these. If you have not gotten one of these, I got this from Amazon, and let me tell you, for bleeding air, that is so helpful. I'm going to be using this on my son's car for sure, but yeah, so I basically, you just fill this full, and I just let it run for something like 20 minutes, and you just continue to keep it filled up, and squeeze the lines and stuff. Alright, so I drove the car around, put quite a few miles on it, and I don't know if this is a good idea or not. I didn't seem to lose any, or I noticed, I didn't notice any leaking, but basically whenever you're tightening this up, it clicks, and you do one click and that means it's tight. So I didn't quite tighten it all the way down. Again, this might be something stupid to do, but I mean, it worked for me. I just gave it like say it's 2 full turns before it clicks. I just gave it 1, maybe 1 1/4, so it could get some air out. Basically, I just drove to town. I took everything easy. I filled it all the way up, pretty high, and it never overflowed. I didn't see any through here, but if you squeeze it, you could hear it pushing air out and sucking air in. So basically, it wouldn't build up a whole lot of pressure in here. It would expel the air. My theory was, as it's pushing out air through here, working out all the air bubbles, and that seemed to work. Whenever I was refilling it back up, because it went from here all the way down quite a bit, and all this was dry, but as I was refilling it, I didn't have a funnel, or maybe I did have a funnel, I forget, because that was a couple of days ago. I had a few drops and I just wiped it down. But yeah, I tested the heat whenever I got back, and my heat blew hot, so I assume that all the air bubbles are out. So yeah, I believe I am done. The only 2 issues that I had, one is the 4 bolts there, but the fix to that was do all 4 at once instead of 1 at a time, and then just in a crisscross star pattern, just work them down. And then whatever this steel braid pipe, or not steel braid, but that metal pipe that's attached to that metal pulley right there, it comes up through the bottom right here. I could not get it all the way up, so I put one of those clamps on it also. Eventually I'm going to replace all these, because I mean, they are 2011. They're still in really good shape. They're pliable, no cracks. But eventually I would like to replace all this, but we'll see. These hoses are quite expensive, and I've heard people say if they don't need it, don't replace it, but yeah, we'll see. Now my next step And a different project is going to be cleaning all this up from that oil leak. You know, I've got oil mist residue everywhere on here and it's pitiful. I always kept this thing spotless, and once I had that oil misting leak, I just kind of let it go. Life got super busy at that same time. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope this helped. Again, this was not a how-to. This was just me wrenching and trying to fix my car. And there was no other GT500 videos out there for the water pump. So I hope this helped, even though I couldn't get a lot of good angles due to the way I decided to do this, but I hope it helped you guys. Have a blessed day.